Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is my OOTD.
Am I really that much to handle? Breaking these niggas down like a camel. You don't really know you are.
I'm going to have lunch at Southern Sun, so I'm taking you along. So I'll tell my head. Hi, my name is Noctula Matonsi, and today I felt, let me just take you into my headspace. I don't really know what's happening with my life at this point. However, I am grateful. I'm grateful I am where I am. I'm grateful I have conquered the things that I've conquered. I'm grateful that I am not where I used to be. However, lately I've been thinking, and I've been in my head a lot, in a sense that I've been asking myself many questions. Who am I? What am I meant for? What was I born for? What is it that God has intended for my life? Am I living the life that God has called me to live? Am I working towards that which God has intended me for? Am I really living in my purpose? And for that matter, what is purpose? What is it that we're meant to do? What is it that we're born to do? What is it that I was born to do? Is each and every day a day where God is pleased with me? What is it? What am I doing? I am in that headspace at the moment. And some days I'm more excited than the other. Some days I'm more sad. Some days I pray more. Some days I don't know whether it's worth it, But the good thing about everything is that God gives us the strength. God gives us the strength to continue to pursue Him. So that's where my headspace is, I'm at a space in my life where if someone were to ask me genuinely if I tell you, I'll definitely cry. I would definitely burst out in tears. I would ask them to hug me. I'd ask them to reassure me. Just tell me, things are gonna be okay. Not that things are not okay. Things are perfectly okay. Things are fine. But I'm talking about me, how I feel as a person. I don't know. And also lately, I don't know if it has to do with their years, because I feel lately that I'm more yearning to have community. I'm more yearning to have friends. I'm more yearning to be in a relationship. I'm more yearning not necessarily a relationship for vibes, but I'm more yearning into having a meaningful relationship, a committed relationship, pursuing something together with that particular partner. I feel like I'm in that space and I feel more lonelier, right? Yeah, I do feel lonely. I don't want to lie. That's where my headspace is at the moment. I'd feel lonely. I think there are days where me being alone would not be much of a big deal, but there will be days where I literally feel it. There will be days where I feel like, oh no, is this gonna be the rest of my life? Is this gonna be how I live my entire life. But I'm like, but God, you have given me the desires, and the word of God says you give us the desires of our hearts. But here I am, I have this desires for community. And I also think that because I'm in Pretoria and I don't really have much of the people that, or the community that I'm used to, and people that really and truly understand me, so I somehow feel like I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I feel out of touch with many things, and I feel like the only time I feel more lively, the only time I feel okay, and not really, battling with the feelings of being alone or by myself, it's mostly when I'm traveling, because traveling takes my mind off things. But if I'm seated at my house, oftentimes those feelings, they just come in rushing. And I think also the reason why today is Sunday, I decided, you know what, I'm going to go out and eat. Not because I wanted to go out and eat. I could have just sat in the house, cooked. But I felt like also being in the house by myself, it contributes into me feeling this particular way. It contributes in me feeling like, oh no, I don't get calls. And the only time I'd have a conversation with someone is if I call them. So I'm like, oh God, I honestly don't want to be in that space. I'm in a space where I feel like I want to be desired. I want to be longed for. I want to be pursued. I want to be liked. And I want to know and feel like I matter to people, to someone. I'm just in that space where I'm like, oh God, if this is the thorn that I have to deal with, oh Lord, don't tell me that your grace is sufficient. You take it out. You take it out, because I'm also one person that I don't really like to be in just mere friendships. I don't want to just be in mere conversations with anyone. I really value the people that come close to me, and I don't want to just have any person for the sake of having community. I'd really love genuine people around me, because I believe that when I'm around other people, I'm my best self. I'm the most genuine person I believe I am. So now it becomes so difficult to also have genuine friendships, because I'm like, oh no, my experiences really, I've been with people that really didn't understand, whom really I felt like never understood me. I'm quite a loud person. I talk a lot, and sometimes I felt like people just understand that, okay, this is who she is, and sometimes you feel like, okay, I wish I could be loved also in that aspect of my life, and not be liked, by being a particular person that is appealing to certain people. It's really sad. And that's where my headspace is at the moment. I feel mostly sad. I'm not depressed, I'm not anxious, but I feel somehow sad. I feel like I'm not living up to what I'm meant to live up to. I don't know what I'm meant to live up to. That's another thing that makes matters even worse, because I don't really know what I'm meant to live up to. But at the same time, I feel like I'm not living up to the things which I need to live up to. And, Some, yes, they're known rather to me. And, as the year goes on, you get to a space where you feel like, oh, I'm failing. You get to a space where you feel like, oh no, I'm not getting things the way I need to get them, right? And in as much as you are going through that, it does not take away the fact that God has a good plan for our lives. We feel this kind of feelings. We feel out of touch. We feel like, like you're wasting your life away. You are wasting your life away. You got your degree, yes, and you feel like, oh, you should be this, you should be that at this point. But there's something that God is working in me. I want to believe and I trust that, yes, there is something God is working in me. However, my headspace at the moment is just all over. Feel overwhelmed by life. Sometimes you're like, oh God, if I were to die tomorrow, what will become of this? What will become of that? When you reach your 30s, you like, any day could be the day. Not that you were immune in your 20s or I was immune in my 20s. But also when you get to that age, also there's that element of I'm getting old. There's that element of I'm growing up. There's that element of I'm entering into womanhood. I'm entering into the fullness of being a woman. And the fear, for a lack of a better word, because God did not give us the spirit of fear, but of love, of power, and of a sound mind. But the uncertainty, not even fear, the uncertainty is that, Lord, would I live up to that which you have called me for? Would I live up to that which you have destined me for? Would I be in a space where even if I would die tomorrow, would I have done the things that which you have called me for? Would people around me say I've impacted them in a positive way? Would people around me say, oh, we know her, this is what, this is this? What will become of me? What is becoming of me? I think what is most overwhelming is being in years or entering into years of womanhood and not knowing how to, oh Lord, I don't want to cry, not knowing how to move with it, not knowing how to transition. I think I'm in a space where I don't know how to transition into being into womanhood. I don't know how to transition, and I don't know what is expected of me by me. And I don't know, I'm just in my head right now, and it might not make sense to you, but it definitely makes sense to me, because it does make sense. Because honestly, I wouldn't be talking about it if it didn't make sense, but it makes sense to me nonetheless. I'm just sharing it with you, and I'm just sharing it, putting it out there, because this is where I am at the moment, where I yearn for womanhood, I yearn for community, I yearn for love, I yearn for, I yearn for love. I think mostly it emanates from that point and that feeling of, I really want to be loved, not only by a man, But I really want to be loved. I want to feel loved. I want to know that I'm loved. I want to know that I'm considered. It's good to consider yourself. It's good to love yourself. Don't get me wrong. But there are elements that you need from other people, right? And I'm trusting God so much for my community and the people that genuinely will understand each other and do life together. You get into a certain age, it really becomes different. Being alone, it can be good for a particular season, and it can also play a particular role for a particular season, and it can be a teacher for a particular reason. But there needs to be time where you are being checked up on. Some of us are staying alone. You think sometimes that if I were to die, there was this other quote that says, if you were to switch off your phone for 3 or 2 weeks, who would come looking for you? Who would come looking for you? So I'm in that space where I'm like, probably no one would come looking for me. Probably no one would come looking for me. And not out of, I want pity. I don't want to be pitied. I don't want anyone's pity. I'm just sharing what's in my headspace at the moment, how I'm feeling at the moment, and how I'm feeling in the season of my life. Because you go out there and people assume, she has everything figured out, life figured out. No one has life figured out. You can have this and not have that. You can have that and not have that. So that's just the notion of life. And now also those are the things that now drives you to God, that which you don't have or that which you lack. Those are the things that then brings you closer to God. Those are the things now that says, go seek God concerning them, And I think also, if God does not give us everything, it allows a cry and a yearning in us to go seek those things in Him and seek Him for those things. So I'm hoping and I'm trusting God that I'm trusting God for community of people that genuinely loves me. Because honestly, my heart is out there, and it breaks my heart most of the time where I'm genuine about people, or I'm genuine concerning people, and people are not genuine concerning me, and you don't give up on people. You're not a person who'd assume worse things about people, but yet people would then do it to you. At some point, you really sit down with yourself and you're like, but I honestly did not deserve that. I don't think I'm really that bad. I don't really think I'm that bad. Really, I don't believe that. I believe that God has people for us. God has people for me. People that will be in my close circles, people that I'll know that they have me, I have them. It's so sad that in your womanhood, because when we're growing up, people in their 30s were like grown-ups, we're like old people. And you are now that old person, and you are thinking, I don't have anyone to share sad news with, to complain to yap with, to just, speak about your day. Just talk. What made you sad today? No. Honestly, this can't be the life that God has for us. this can't be the life that God has for me. Actually, this is not the life that God has for me. I believe that God has bigger things for me. God has people that will love me and appreciate me. I believe that God has people that will understand the weight of my spirit, and that will understand where I am coming from, and would understand me when I'm loud, me when I'm talking, me when I'm complaining, will understand me when I'm crying about certain things. I believe that God will have people that will understand me when I share how I love them, and when I receive how they love me. I think God has my people. And until such a time that God brings me such people, I'm going to continue staying in faith. I'm going to continue staying in prayer and trusting and hoping that our good God is going to, to answer those particular prayers and give me people, of my journey, people that I won't have to convince to like me. I won't have to convince to understand me. I won't have to convince to keep me around, but people that will be glad to have Noctul around. I believe that I'm such a red jewel, and I believe that I have so much love to give, and it's only for a certain type of people that God has for me. And until such a time, I'm going to continue pursuing God, and I'm going to continue looking unto Him, the author and the finisher of my faith. So with that, I was just sharing my headspace, where I am currently. That's where my mind is. I yearn for a relationship. I yearn for community. I yearn for love. And I so much yearn to be around and surrounded by people who genuinely love me. So that's where I am. I feel lonely sometimes. I feel sad sometimes. I feel alone sometimes. And that makes me sad. But in all, I trust that God has people for us. Thank you. Bye. That's what I was here for. I had my lunch and I'm now heading back home. So thank you so much for watching this channel. Thank you so much for listening to my yipping. So I will see you on the next episode. Love and light. Bye. you.